Hi, and welcome to Transformative Joy Tarot. Take 3 today. I have had the most retrograde of Mercury retrogrades this week. All kinds of issues. And today, the first time I recorded, I forgot to turn on the mic. The second time, the mic died, so I had to wait for the mic to charge. And let's just see. Yeah, it's still on. I may keep glancing down at that because I'm a little... Whew. All right. So the question for us is, what do we need to know as a collective about this coming week and the energies of the week? So let's see. Okay, one more time. Okay. Rain. I got this one in the second one, so maybe Spirit will share the same message. That is purification, cleansing. Let's see if we want mortar and pestle integration, thoroughness. 2 more. B, community, and sickle, focus. Focus and regrowth and letting go. So we have, just kind of looking at the cards overall. We've got cleansing, purification, integration, community, and letting go. So what do we need to let go of? Let's see. Pull from this deck. Oh, well, look at that. Turned them around. Got them all mixed up. See, this is just the kind of week I've had. Everything I do goes a little backwards. Just sometimes that's the way life rolls, and you got to go with it. I want them all in the same order, at least facing the right direction. Okay. Hopefully that is it. Well, at least we know I'm thoroughly shuffling. No, I'm still not. Okay. I don't know what's... So you get to experience this live. Well, record it. But as I do it, okay, let's see. All right. I'm 2 more times, and I'll cut the deck. We'll do horseshoe spread. What do we need to know about this week? What do we need to let go of? What do we need to incorporate? Pull from the bottom. Ooh, it's always a good card to start with. 9 of Cups. Okay, ready. Strength. Not bad, not bad. Really wish that last one had taken, because I think by the end of it I had pulled 7 major arcana cards. I just don't like to not pull on the cards on the camera, because I don't ever want people to think I'm selecting cards. Five of Wands. Maybe a little drama going on right now. Maybe that's what we need to let go of. The Tower that also came up, which makes sense. I mean, We are literally in a tower time, the whole planet. But it does keep popping up in a lot of my readings. Four of Wands, as did this one. Awesome. So that's good. Okay, what are the obstacles or opportunities that we're going to see this week? Obstacles or opportunities? Nine of Cups. Some messages coming through of love, maybe emotional messages. Six of Swords. I see that kind of along with the lines of this letting go in the sickle. Maybe there's something, something we need to let go of. And final outcome. Page of Wands. Maybe a new path forward, right? It's just what popped up in my head. Sometimes, if you also read cards, you might find this to be true. Sometimes it's like the meaning of the card is the meaning of the card is the meaning of the card. But sometimes there's a phrase or a part of the card that pops out and you're like, that's what that is for this reading. I think we're going to be letting go of a lot of the chaos there, moving away from it, making room for growth, a new path, new purpose, right? So let's just see. Let's see. All right. I would like to clarify a few things. Talk to me about this community. What part you need us to know about community? Clarify that B card for me, please. Okay. Clarify that B card one more time. I'm going to pull 3 cards from the bottom. So we got 1, 2, 3. Awareness. And that is the third heart chakra and recognition and reward. There maybe somebody on the world stage will come forward and or maybe in your own personal life. I don't know. I'm going to have to keep clarifying that one. But the heart and awareness, I think aligning our intuition with our heart space, with that heart, our wishes and desires, staying open to that. Maybe we need to recognize when that comes through properly, like what we need to do community-wise for that. Give me a little more clarity here with what are we letting go of? Speak to me about what we're letting go of. Okay. Hanged Man. Ten of Wands. The Fool. Okay. It's time for us to get new perspective on not just the burdens that we're carrying, but the fact that this is kind of, when this is all said and done, when it's over, and by it, I mean, there could sometimes what happens on a world stage can parallel in your own life, but I am asking for the collective, and I am asking about the bigger things that happen. A lot of us are carrying a lot of burden, and maybe you've been carrying that burden for your community. And things are coming to an end. There is a shakeup, right, in place. It's time for a new perspective, a new journey, start of something new, which the sickle also, beyond letting go, is regrowth and integrating that. I think we need to use our intuition and our heart to integrate the lessons that we've learned. So talk to me a little bit about the lessons we've learned. What lessons have we learned? I know one lesson I've learned, and this has been a lesson that has been ongoing, it's probably Cosby's big thing, is not to idolize celebrities or people in power just because they have a talent or just because they look good on the world stage, but to put my trust in the people that earn it and deserve it for how they are and the character that they have. To not hold Princess of Wands. So that is similar to the Page of Wands, but the Princess of Wands, she is, okay. So this is why I think it came out, that if you look at the similarities, this is a totally different card, right? Different deck. She is starting that new journey with freshness. If you look at her face, she might not know exactly where she's going, much like the Fool, but there's a sense of purpose. That's what I see when I see her face. Sense of purpose. Her steps are sure. She's using her intuition and her heart to lead her. Okay. Talk to me about purification. The Fool, and I think I need to take the second card too, and the Eight of Wands. So things are going to happen quickly this coming week. Things will happen quickly, and it's time for us to let go of some of the old ways of doing things. And the lady, the Empress, she came out from a different deck in my last reading. And when I look at her, what I see is the same thing that I saw in the other one. This I feel is a little bit more expressive. She is thoroughly and deeply connected to nature. And I think right now there is something calling to many of us. I felt it, maybe you feel it too, this calling to reconnect with nature, to turn away from some of the, I'm not saying avoid technology altogether, I'm not saying that, but to turn away from some of the getting so stuck in that techno mode and reconnecting with the purpose of who we are and why we're here. And it's not some magical, well, it is kind of magical to be connected to nature, but it's not we are here for a purpose and, da, 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 and the trumpets blow and suddenly we know exactly what we're here for. We are here to be here. And I firmly believe this, that our purpose as humans isn't necessary to achieve greatness, but rather to be connected, to be integrated to our community, to show up and to care for others. So it's not so important as what do you achieve, but how do you treat the people around you? And I think to move beyond the horrors and the depravity that seem to just be enmeshed with the ruling class, so to speak, to move past that and to heal our planet, we have to focus on giving to each other, giving to ourselves, cultivating a particular resonance with nature. Stand outside, let your feet hit the dirt, commune with the trees. See if you can go feel their energy, right? Give yourself moments and pockets of time to feel integrated into the planet we live on and not just apart from it. Okay, is there anything else? Let me see. I'm just checking to see. Okay. Sometimes when I put my hand on a deck, I get a tingle and I know, okay, that's the one. What final advice do you have for us for this integration with each other, with community, not just with ourselves, but with the world, to help rebuild and start a new way forward? How do we go about that? Okay. Okay. I'm going to pull 4 cards. That's what I hear for. Ooh. Patience. Yay. I always kind of groan a little bit when the card I pull in a reading speaks to patience. That's like temperance too. Having patience. Captain Fear. Rest and rejuvenation. And triumph. Okay, so the way forward to move past this fear state that many of us have been in. And not just, I mean, like, because I have a lot of fears. I fear for the people who are suffering right now. I fear for my own freedoms being taken away. I fear for children who are needlessly suffering. Is to have a little patience. And I'm looking at that and I don't, okay, so patience that you would need to plant a seed, to watch it germinate. You see that, you can see there's a seed in our hand, and from that seed is coming a full plant. And while we have patience, we need to make sure that we're resting and rejuvenating our soul. And for some reason, I've been stuck on talking about nature this reading. I'm feeling it. I'm feeling that strong. I'm feeling the call myself. I feel like it's not just for me, though. The communion with the trees, communion with nature, realizing that we aren't apart, separate from the planet, that we shouldn't just destroy it needlessly, but that we should consider our place and how we how we consume resources, how we nurture ourselves, our planet, and others, to have patience with the process. And I think there will be triumph. The moral arc of the universe is long, but it leans towards justice. And I know that's not the exact quote, but it is something that has been sticking on my head lately. This turn toward nationalism, where every group is separate and different, and focusing on the others and focusing on what my is the wrong approach. And if enough of us realize that and stop, take part in dismantling that old system and the old way of doing things, I honestly, I mean, mankind can, has shown again and again that they are capable of really great horror, but we also show that we're capable of really great good. And while it's not solely, it's not, those sorts of things aren't totally restricted to the colonialism that we've seen, the that the main reason the majority of the world can speak English, or the way that they tried to beat native religions and native tongues out of people that they conquered. That is something that we need to rectify. And as we integrate with others and we become part of the community and we allow ourselves to cleanse and we let go and rebuild, realize that we are actually more alike and more one part of one great being. And that the harm I do to you or the harm I do to myself has greater impact than we think. Anyhow, it was food for thought this week. I really do feel like, there are more of us than there are of them. By them, I'm definitely talking about that ruling class. So, I'm checking my mic. So, the more of us that connect, and the more that we connect to each other and respect our differences, whether that's cultural differences, physical differences, differences in viewpoint or religion, or, that we realize that we're actually very much alike. And maybe we can transcend this path that we've been on for way too long, with a little patience and a lot of integration. Anyways, whatever the week holds for you personally, I hope you have a really wonderful week. Spend a little time in nature, go out, hug a tree, literally. Feel the I encourage you just to feel the energy. Everything has an energy, even subtle energy. And that can be taken very woo-woo, but it's true. Like, you can feel the difference of a tree and a rock, or a cat or a dog, and try to connect with your own little patch of the world. Connect with your community. All right. I hope you have a great day.